hello, assalamu alaikum. We are looking into tables. So a diagram representation of information as tables. This isn't something too new, am I right? Because we do them, we've done them in probably math, more probable that we've done similar questions table related in the sciences, biology, chemistry, physics, etc. So let's take a look at what they're asking us to do. The main challenge for questions like these, wherever they're representing information in a diagram, is to be able to go past the first screen, which is to be able to understand the table itself. Because once you understand the tables, you realize the questions are not the difficult part. So the questions are not the difficult part of the table style questions, it's actually the information itself, being able to understand the information. So let's go. They're saying directions, question 1 to 4, study the table and answer the questions. Okay, there's a reason they said study the table, because it has to be studied, and there's something we need to understand over here. So according to the table, they're specifying that something is the years. We're probably 2007, 8, 9, and 10, so they look like the years. Then they are representing subjects, so we've got English, math, science, and social studies. So we've got 4 subjects and 4 years. And then they are representing some more information. So over here, this says high. Let's use this. We've got a high at ABE, because I've read the rest of it, I know this stands for average, but sometimes you might not understand like what is ABE supposed to be. But then when you go on to the questions and you see this, you'd realize, okay, so one of the things is they're saying high and average, and then they also specify average of marks. So we do understand that this table is representing marks. This table is representing marks for English, math, science, and social studies for these 4 years. So we've got a few types of marks. For every subject every year, we've got a mark that's the highest mark, and we've got a mark that's the average of the class. The highest mark, the average of the class. The highest mark, the average of the class, depending on where it's listed. So once we got this right, these are the high marks in math, and these are the averages in marks in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. So once we get our heads around that, the rest of it should be easy, because we got through understanding the table. Let's take a look at the question. They're saying, question number 1, what is the overall average of marks in the 4 subjects in the year 2009? So we are only targeting the year 2009. And the question states, what's the overall average of the 4? What's the overall average of the... So we're only looking at 2009, and they're saying the overall average of the marks in the 4 years. Now, in order to get the overall average, I need to get the average for every subject, because they want it for all the 4 subjects. So the first subject in 2009, the average was 56. The average was 56 for English in the year 2009, and the average for math was 68, and the average for the next subject, science, was also 68, and the average for the next subject, social science, is 48. So what do they want again? They want the overall, which is why we are adding them, but then they're saying the overall average, which means we need to work out the average once more. We know how to get the average. We did that in algebra, remember? So in order to get the average, what we do is divide by the total number. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So which is why I would divide them by 4. So I'd add everything and divide it by 4. Add them all up. What I would do is pull the tens out, and pull the units out. 8, 8, 8, and 6. The tens, add them up, and that should give me 100, 210. And this one over here should give me 24 and 6, 30. So I'm getting the total to be 210 and 30, which is 240. So add them all up, add this all up, and you would get 240 divided by 4. 24 divided by 6, and the 0 carries on. So that's my answer, option D. The overall average of marks in the 4 subjects in the year 2009 is 60. Let's take a look at the next question. Question number 2. Supposing that there were 40 students in science in the year 2009. How much total of marks did they receive combined together? So in 2009 in science, where are we? We're looking at science, and in 2009, and we are interested in these two over here, 97 and 86. Which one do we need? Supposing that there were 40 students, so we know that there was a total of 40 students. And what was the total mark? What was the total of their marks? The marks they received combined together. So how much is each student receiving, by the way? Because we know that the average is 68, we can confidently say that each student got a 68. So we've got 68. How many times? 40 times. So 40 times 68. We've got 40 students, and 68 is the average, which means every student is getting 68. So 40 times 68, that should give me my final answer. I have not a clue what that's going to be, so let me pull out the tens and the units and the tens. So what I would do is 60 is multiplying by 40, and 8 is multiplying by 40. So I pulled out the units and the tens. 6 times 4, 24, the zeros carry on. 8 times 4, 32, the zeros carry on. So let's add them both together. So I have a 0, I have a 2, I have a 7, I have a 2. So these two would add up together to give me this, which is option B. So combined together in 2009, if there are 40 students, each getting 68, 68, 68, 68 in the subject science, the total is going to be 2,720. Question number 3. In which year? Okay, now they're not telling us the year. The difference between the highest and the average mark in math was the maximum. So we're trying to find out the difference between them, and the biggest difference is the answer. Where is the difference the biggest? So I'm looking at the year 2007. In the subject math, this one over here, in the subject math, the difference between the highest mark is 694. The highest mark is 94. Let me list them down. Here we go. Okay, so I've got everything listed down over here, because clearly the table was getting a bit too messy. So in 2007, the highest mark is 94, and the average is 60, and so forth for the rest of the years. I took this information from here, from the math section, because the requirement was, what's the average mark in math? The difference in the highest and the average in math. So basically we're trying to work out the difference between them. So the difference between the highest and the average, the difference between the highest and the average, the difference between the highest and the average. So 94 take away 60 gives me a 34. 85 take away 62 gives me a 62, 72, 82, and 3, so 23. The difference between 92 and 68 is 68, 78, 88, and then another 4, so it's 24. And 91 to 64, so 64, 74, 84, and then another 7, so that's 27. Clearly the highest difference was over here, between the highest and the average in year 2007. So that's the year 2007, answer option C. Let's take a look at the last question. They're saying, in which year the difference between the highest and the average mark in social studies was the least? So in this particular question, they want the mark that was the least in social studies in the year 2000 in one of the 4 years. Let me list them down again. All right, again, I listed them down, all the numbers over here. using the information because they're interested in social science, so I took all the information from here. From social science, we took all the information of the high scores and the average scores in all the 4 years. Now that we've got them listed down, by the way, I listed them down for clarity, so that it's easier for you to understand. Obviously, when you're sitting down there for the test, you're going to be doing this because it wastes a lot of time. Okay, the difference between the highest and the average mark, so basically that's the highest mark, and that's the average mark, and that's the year. So we're trying to get the difference between them. 65 and 55 is a 10. 66 and 58 is an 8. That looks like a 20. And that looks like a 58, 68, 17, 19. Where is the difference that least? That's the question. The difference is least in this particular year, which is 2008, which is 2008. Option D. So that's it for the tables. Hopefully we've got a review of them. Like I said, tables aren't very new to you because you're doing them with the other subjects. And if you did notice, the questions itself are not difficult. The questions itself are not difficult. It's just the motive behind questions like these, where they represent information in diagrams, is to confuse you when you look at the diagram. So just be careful about that, and the questions will not be difficult. Talking about confusing, you have to watch the next diagram to see how things can get confusing when you show them up in a diagram. So click the next video.